instructions. So thank you for being willing to do this and for filling out your intake form. I'm going to share my screen with some instructions. Some of us are visual learners. I like things written out. So you could screenshot this and come back to it if you like. For the case study dyad, we're going to put you into Zoom rooms and you'll be paired with someone. And then the first thing that if you could please do is trade email addresses with each other and then email the person that you are in partnership with your intake form and vice versa so that you each have it. Then there'll be a time, 10 to 15 minutes of reading your partner's information they provided and being with it. And as much, 10 to 15 minutes. Normally, of course, in real life, you would have more time to spend with it. But again, this is an exercise. So as you go through it, note what strikes you so it doesn't become overwhelming. Really mine the case study for the 6 tenets of yoga recovery. So which is what Durga did with me, because my case study could feel overwhelming for people. I was obviously in a very stuck place. I had my own behaviors. There was a lot of blame. I was in a difficult relationship. And what we're doing is we're looking for keys to which one of these windows. I love the way Durga said that each of our clients is like a building. And we want to look for the windows or doors that are open, right? We don't want to be banging on the door that they're going to deadbolt and not let us in. So look to see what doors may be open for you by thinking of the case study through the lens of the 6 tenets. Life is longing, right? What is the underlying yearning of this person's, the spirit's heart that they are really seeking through their addictive behavior, right? So as Durga said, what she could see is in my acting out with having affairs and flirting with other men, what I was really looking for was love and meaning, right? There was that. And so when she saw that, she was able to go back around and find something else that gave me meaning that was a little more, that was positive, right? My Dharma at the time, my job was that. And she went right into that. It was the first thing she said. And immediately when she recognized that in me, my door opened. We have life as prana. Is the person that you're working with, are they using to cover up for tired, wired, stressed, or pain mood? Is that what they're dealing with? If so, what practices have you learned that you might give them to, first of all, meet where they are? If they're tired, meet them in tired. Maybe that's eye rest. Maybe it's a gentle practice. Maybe, and then giving them some tools to meet that tired state without going for the caffeine or the food or the cocaine or the cigarettes, whatever it is they're using to jazz themselves up. Can you give them a different tool? I do see there are chats coming in, but I'm going to go over this and then I'm going to come back to the questions. Life is sweet, just like we did the other day, 2 days ago, I believe. What elements are you see being damaged, right? Is it earth element, water element, fire element, air or ether? And then working from that element, what might you give them to sweeten their lives, right? So I was smoking. So maybe for me, it would be going outside and taking some deep breaths of the night air, because remember, my issue is happening at night, like standing in the stars, taking in the spaciousness of the night rather than going out and smoking. Life is a relationship. Where is this person seeking belonging? Remember, the opposite of addiction is not sobriety, it's connection. It's connection. Where are the possible places of sangha, community, service, or bhakti in their lives? If you see that, can you invite a deeper connection? So for example, Durga saw there was this opportunity for me to maybe find a new, healthier connection through my yoga classes and said, great, can you commit to a second yoga class a week. Life is love. What are they devoted to? Right? Do they have spirituality? Is there community? Is there service? Is there dharma? And again, Durga saw that, to me, my dharma, my job, was really important, and she went for that. Life is progress. It's one day at a time, right? Do you see any progress in their story? Did they go from being an alcoholic or a cocaine addict to overusing caffeine? Yeah. So caffeine's not great. It damages our senses, but certainly there's progress there, right? We want to celebrate that. So, maybe pick out one or two of the tenets and use that in your case study. They're just short. The first 30 minutes, the first partner will act as the therapist, coming from this place of the 6 tenets. Again, just one or two of the tenets. And in the second 30 minutes, the second partner will go. I will be in the main room. You can hit the I need help button if you'd like me to come in and help you out if you feel a little stuck. And please try to remember, this is not a test. You're not getting graded. It doesn't mean you fail or pass the course. It's just an opportunity to try on these concepts in a loving, supportive environment, in a safe space, and do the best you can in this moment. My experience with this exercise is you'll have ideas come to you as soon as you get off the call, tonight, tomorrow. Inspiration comes, and this is our first dipping of our toe into this. So be kind to yourself. It's really all good, and you showed up, and that's more than half the battle. So I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to see if there are questions. How do you screenshot? I don't know how to do it on a PC. Someone did tell you. Okay, great. Everybody gave you the answer. All right. So any questions on this activity before we go into our Zoom rooms? All right. So if you have not filled out a case study and you missed this morning, you don't know what the heck's going on, can you let me know in chat so that I can pair you with the right person? All right. I'm going to create the breakout rooms. So Sophia, did you create the intake form? You did fill out the intake. Do you feel that you can participate in this, or do you want to observe? Since you missed Durga and my dyad.
Sorry, I was trying to text. Probably easier to just talk. I guess somewhere in between. I think I'm okay because I've been following along. The other courses, I just wasn't able to listen to the when you went through with Durga.
Okay.
So I guess I don't have a good answer. I was going to say your call. I'm just shooting the ball over to you. Maybe it depends a little bit on how many people we are too.
It looks like, let me see.
I don't mind just kind of watching, either participating or whatever kind of is needed.
Okay, let me break us into breakout rooms. Give me 1 second, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Mo, should I stay on myself as well?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out, Shani.
It's like mathematics.
It really is. I'm so, you know how good I am with that. I'm so good with that. Shani, log out, please.
Okay, and then I'm just going to be right here in case you do need me to log back in.
Okay, great. Okay. Okay. So Sophia, I'm going to pair you with somebody. So whoever pairs with Sophia, just, like we are with everybody, it's all just a learning process. Susan asked, what time does it end? And do we go back to class, or will we be done? We're going to end at around 3:30, and you can come back into the main room, ask me any questions, I'll be there. Or if you have no questions till Durga comes back with us this evening, it's fine for you to just log out and go about the rest of your afternoon. All right, I'm going to create the breakout rooms. And remember that you're going to need to accept the invitation, and then you'll be placed in a breakout room. All right, everyone, there you go. All right, it looks like Celeste, Lisa, you need to join. Okay.
And I even discovered really what her primary is. Well, what I thought, I'm not that experienced in this, what I thought her primary tenets were. And then I'm like, no, it's this. Anyway, it's just amazing. And then being the client, just thank you.
So great. I'm so glad. And you keep showing up for it. So that's so awesome.
I've been showing up for this. Yep. Thank you so
really,
much, Mom.
You really have. Thank you, Susan.
Thank
Anybody have any questions or reflections that you'd like to share with everyone?
So how many
we'll
times
probably share a bit with Durga too.
How many times do
Sorry.
you see a yoga recovery? What is a amount of sessions you're having with the client? I mean, any ballpark figure or
Gosh, it so depends, right? It depends on how they're doing, if they come back. Remember, there's that whole period of time where someone in recovery will kind of go in and out and in and out, and they'll come to you and they'll stop and then they'll come back a few times. So it, like any client, you know, hopefully life is progress and we start to see progress. And then my teacher, Brian Dorfman, used to say, it's my job to make sure that, you know, you get to the point where you don't need to see me anymore. I want to put myself out of a job. So thank you, Susan. Does anybody else, or Susan again, have any thoughts, anything you want to share at all? Any questions?
Yeah, I would love to just share something very quickly.
Sure, let me find you. Gopala. Hello there.
Hi, yeah, so I just wanted to share quickly. I was with Christina, and it was kind of interesting that we had kind of diametrically opposed ways of approaching. Like for me, it was more about when she was counseling me, like plug you in to something, because I was going from a place back in my past where I felt that I should write my thing about when I was
Sure.
my addiction, coming out into the world out of jail and wanting something. So it was kind of like she was getting comfortable with me. Whereas for me, it was like, I noticed from her thing, like she's coming to a yoga therapist and she doesn't have really disturbing things going on. So I felt more comfortable like giving her specific things. Like Durga was saying, I'll send you some videos and I'll send you some links and I'll send you some information type things, and getting more in the detail type things from my experience, more than like trying to plug her into like a comfortability. And I thought that was really cool just to see that difference, and how to approach different people in different ways, I think is so cool.
It is. Thank you for that reflection. Yeah, yoga therapy it's amazing because we're always sitting in front of a different person, and your instrument, we might say, is your own body and your heart. And that's why we say on our intake forms, and it wasn't on this intake form because I forgot, but in your observation section of your SOAP notes that you hand in the yoga therapy training, it's really key into also what are you feeling, right? Do you feel your heart race? Do you feel your belly clench? Do you feel a pain in your shoulder as you're speaking to this person? Because we are one. So we'll get different messages from different people as we sit down with the intention to be in communion with them and to help them on their path, because it really is all spiritual path. Thank you, Gopala, for that reflection that it's always going to be different. I love that. Thank you. It is